Hello and salam Malaysia Madani. Welcome to On the Table. We are broadcasting on RTM Click and MyTV's Berita RTM channel 123, which is also live streaming on YouTube. I'm your host, Brendan Paul. This year, Malaysia, as the ASEAN chair, hosted the 57th ASEAN Economic Ministers AEM meeting from 22nd September to 26th September here in Kuala Lumpur. For more information about the AEM meeting, with us in the studio, Puan Mastura Ahmad Mustafa, Deputy Secretary General, Trade of the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI. Puan, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Brendan.
Hope you're doing good.
Yes.
Now, Puan, let's move on to some of the questions that we have for you. The questions that everybody in Malaysia would like to take note of. Puan, could you please share with us which countries and regions participated as dialogue partners besides ASEAN members in the AEM meetings? And, what was the overall feedback from the ASEAN Economic Direction overall from these countries?
Okay. Actually, MITI was very happy because all our 11 dialogue partners are actually came for that meeting. We have with us Australia, Canada, China, EU, India, Japan, New Zealand, Korea, Russia, UK and US. And in addition, we also have Hong Kong as ASEAN FTA partner and Switzerland as our sectoral dialogue partner. So across all engagement, they are all very happy. They welcome ASEAN's commitments to deeper regional integration, sustainable and inclusive growth, and the strengthening of the supply chain. They also actually support ASEAN efforts to deepen cooperations in key areas, new areas, such as digital and green economy. I always call it MISME, micro, small and medium enterprises, development, infrastructure and regulatory convergence. All in all, they are actually happy, especially with our hospitality that we have provided to them.
I think MISME is a good terminology one, right? Now, several high-level consultations took place. Now, you just mentioned, including countries like Canada, India, Russia, and also Hong Kong, China, to be exact. Let's talk about its mechanisms. And does ASEAN use, what kind of mechanism did ASEAN use to consult with dialogue partners just to strengthen political and, of course, regional supply chains and market access?
Actually, since COVID-19 and coupled with rising geoeconomic uncertainties, ASEAN needs to do more engagement with external partners in order for us to remain resilient and also to maintain the economic vitality of the region. So the engagement with the dialogue partner has proven particularly effective in strengthening external economic relations. So we have actually come up with the partners to collectively respond to global challenges. We explore new trade investment opportunities and exchange ideas on how to build a more resilient and inclusive supply chains. For instance, recently, China, Japan and Korea reaffirmed their commitment to deeper cooperations in key strategic areas, including semiconductor supply chains, digital trade, green growth and regional financial stability. All within the ASEAN +3. If you look at the collective trade between ASEAN and these three partners, it has reached USD 1.2 trillion last year, accounting for nearly 1/3 of ASEAN total trade. So their foreign direct investment also have represented almost 20% of the total inflows of FDI into the region. So it's very important for us to maintain this engagement. Secondly, ASEAN continue to reaffirm our commitment under the free trade FTA, with free trade agreement with various dialogue partners. For example, with China, we have successfully concluded the upgraded ASEAN-China FTA, which we expect we will sign it by the ASEAN Summit in October. under this upgraded, we have included new areas for cooperations.
Right.
Like it's digital digital and green economy and so on. And Canada, we have embarked into an FTA negotiations with Canada, the first country that ASEAN have with the North American region. So the progress is quite
promising,
and we expect to conclude the negotiations by next year.
That's good to hear, Puan. That's good to hear.
And definitely the most important one is the capacity building.
Right.
We have various help from this dialogue partner in building the capacity in the ASEAN region. For example, the project by the EU scope, there is Sustainable Connectivity Package and Trade. They are actually help in advancing ASEAN green transition and empowering sustainable connectivity.
And these are partners, external partners as well, that's collectively joining us in this move moving forward, right, Puan?
Yeah.
Now, Puan, let's talk about ATIGA. What steps is ASEAN taking to upgrade the ASEAN Trades in Goods Agreement? In short, ATIGA.
Okay, ATIGA is very important instrument in ASEAN. It was actually signed back in 2009. And to date, because of ATIGA, about 98.6% of the intra-ASEAN traded products enjoying zero tariff rates.
Wow.
So it has really made a significant strides in eliminating tariff and non-tariff barriers among ASEAN countries. Unfortunately, despite this openness and reductions of the barriers, we see that the trade shares among ASEAN is still maintained around 21 to 22%,
right, compared
to ASEAN trade with the whole world. So what we have done back in 2022, we launched an ATIGA upgrade.
Okay.
And I'm pleased to inform that during our chairmanship, we have successfully concluded the negotiations. And again, we expect to sign the ATIGA upgrade during the ASEAN Summit in October. This particular upgrade actually introduced a new and forward-looking chapters regarding the circular economy, remanufactured goods, trade and environment, food security, supply chain connectivity, and even trade in humanitarian cases, crisis. So, in short, we hope that this ATIGA will help future-proof ASEAN economic integration, equipping the region to better absorb external shocks, safeguard supply chain resilience, and enhance ASEAN position as a competitive, predictable, and trusted hub for trade and investment.
Okay. As you mentioned, ATIGA was formed back then in 2009, and it has been reinforced in today's uncertainty. Now, let's talk about today's uncertainty, and we cannot push that or set that aside. What was ASEAN's response to the US imposing additional tariffs on pharmaceuticals prior to the AEM meetings? Was there any further reinforcement done? And was it even an obstacle moving forward? So,
definitely, it will have a real impact to ASEAN economy. But coming back to the 57th ASEAN Economic Ministers meeting, it is not really being specifically addressed during AEM USTR consultation that we had last week. However, the ministers did deliberate the broader global rise in protectionism and unilateral trade actions, and how it has been pose a risk to multilateral rule-based that we believe all this while they actually ensure the stability of the global supply chains. In this context, ASEAN continue to reaffirm that our commitments for an open, fair and inclusive trading environment. We are continue to be dedicated to addressing challenges through constructive engagement instead of retaliatory measures. So we will continue with our engagement with United States, and we are looking forward for the potential participation by President Trump's during our summit next month in October. And we hope at that time ASEAN will be able to take advantage to underscore the our role as a trusted partner to the US and to enhance the relationship between the two regions.
Puan Mastura, I was going to ask you about the implication of President Donald Trump's visit to Malaysia, and I thank you so much for answering that in advance. Thank you, Puan Mastura. We're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, there's more to discuss on the recently concluded AEM meeting. So don't go on anywhere. This is On the Table. Welcome back. This is On the Table, and we're going to dive into some of the questions that we have for our guests in the studio, Puan Mastura. Puan Mastura, coming back to some of the questions here. Now, Timor-Leste is to become Asean's bloc's 11th member this October, which is this month. And we're so excited for that, and we're looking forward. Now, how does ASEAN plan to support Timor-Leste's entry as a formal ASEAN member?
Okay, actually the journey of Timor-Leste towards becoming an ASEAN members started in 2011,
right,
more than a decade ago. But only in 2022, ASEAN, during the 40th and 41st ASEAN Summit in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, Timor-Leste was actually admitted in principle and granted an observer status.
Right.
So since then, they have attended all ASEAN meetings as an observer. So a year later, in 2023, we have come up with a clear outline roadmap on their accessions to ASEAN, and since then, all ASEAN member states has provide support to engage them in technical discussion, as well as a series of capacity building programs to prepare them for their membership into ASEAN. So in Malaysia's capacity as chair, we have consistently kept Timor-Leste accessions as our forefront of our agenda this year. So Alhamdulillah, we managed to convince the other member states, and during the 46th ASEAN Summit, we have announced that we're going to officially accepted Timor-Leste as our 11th members during the 47th Summit next month. And it was actually fully supported by the 57th ASEAN economic ministers, because economic pillar is also one of the main pillar that we have quite a huge number of agreements that Timor-Leste need to exceed into. So we have tried our best, and Timor-Leste also have shown their effort to make sure they are ready to exceed into all those agreements. So with this, currently we are trying to tying up all the loose ends, and inshallah by the ASEAN Summit, 47th ASEAN Summit in October, Timor-Leste will be the 11th member of ASEAN.
Definitely something to look forward to. Now, you spoke about protectionism on the surface level, but let's bring it back to ASEAN. How is ASEAN balancing the rising protectionism with its goal of becoming the world's 4th largest economic bloc by 2030, 5 years from now?
Okay. First of all, we must strengthen ASEAN itself. We have a 700 million population.
Right.
So in terms of consumer base, we are actually huge enough for the productions of, for all that ASEAN produce. So ASEAN cannot continue to be a production hub.
Okay.
We must also become a consumer base to consume our own product as well as global products into the region. So our first effort is actually to strengthen the intra-ASEAN trade.
Okay.
That is why I mentioned earlier the upgraded of the Artiga, and at the same time DEFA, that is the ASEAN Digital Economic Framework Agreement. We expect with the conclusions of the DEFA, by 2030, trade within ASEAN will both for a digital economy will contribute around 2 trillion to the ASEAN economy. Secondly, we also recognize the contributions by our dialogue partner. That's why we continue to enhance our relationship with external partners, especially through FTAs.
Right.
I mentioned about the ASEAN-China. We are negotiating with Canada. We are upgrading Hong Kong FTA with ASEAN. And we are also in October intend to launch and upgrade negotiations on ASEAN-Korea FTA.
Yes.
So that is what we're going to do to actually enhance the cooperation. Next, on sustainability and human capital.
Okay.
So as ASEAN, we acknowledge that these are actually a key driver of future growth.
Right.
So one of our flagship initiative is actually ASEAN Power Grid and the circular economy. So we want to make sure that our development agenda is more greener. And at the same time, we want to make sure we will empower our MISMI because these are the backbone of the ASEAN economy.
Correct.
So when we and lastly, we are accelerating digitalizations across our economies, and therefore will really help us in making sure that we make sure that the integrations within ASEAN will be more inclusive, will reach all businesses in all sizes and community at all level of society. And last but not least, during our 31st AM retreat in Desaru, Johor in February this year, we have established the ASEAN Geo-Economic Task Force.
Right.
Okay, it's a special platform to help ASEAN to deal with all the geo-economic challenges that we are facing today.
Okay.
So, co-led by Malaysia and Indonesia, this task force brings together experts from key regional think tanks such as IRIA, AMRO and BCG. So, they are supposed to come up with a report, that is ASEAN Integration Report, which offer ministers a clear and actionable insight to guide policy decisions. Under this report will be presented to the ministers in October, and hopefully it will help us in our decision regarding the transformations of ASEAN, as well as the policy decision that we will make in ASEAN.
Fantastic point, Mastura. Let's come back to the 47th ASEAN Summit. How does the involvement of world leaders from outside ASEAN, how does it reflect the success of prior consultations and diplomatic efforts by Malaysia? Okay,
the theme for this year's chairmanship is inclusivity and sustainability. Setting a unifying and forward-looking agenda, actually not only for ASEAN members, but also a strong platform to attract deeper engagement from our external partners. I will talk based on the economic pillar. Malaysia diplomatic effort emphasize ASEAN centrality and neutrality as key drivers of intra-regional economic integrations. Alongside further, we will deepen the economic ties with our dialogue partner. So by maintaining this neutral position, actually Malaysia has fostered confidence among the dialogue partner. So enable us to actually not only invite them to participate in a dedicated summit that is ASEAN +1, but also to facilitate their participation in other meetings such as the East Asia Summit and ASEAN +3.
Okay.
So East Asia Summit is a very challenging platform,
right? Because
we have China there, we have US, and we have Russia.
Okay.
So how Malaysia will actually successfully invite those leaders to come and sit together in AS, that alone is a success story for Malaysia. So we are hoping that the outcome of the meeting will also be something that we can be proud of. And this actually demonstrates our ability to bridge and balance the interests of major powers. And at the same time, we have to make sure that ASEAN will remain firmly in the driver's seat.
Okay.
So the presence of this world leader reflect the result of Malaysia's sustained and strategic consultation in lead up to this event.
Okay.
So we have seen that our Prime Ministers have gone all over the world.
That's right.
Not only promoting Malaysia as a destination for a regional hub for investment, but also to sell ASEAN as a dynamic region, so that by doing this, we managed to convince the leaders to come and see for themselves how unique ASEAN and how ASEAN can open opportunity for all the key economy in the world.
Okay. Now, Puan Mastura, one more question before we go. Just a very basic question that I would like to bring forward to you and just to put it on the table. Now, should Malaysia trade more with ASEAN countries? I mean, correctively putting it out there, the answer would probably be yes. But what about trading with superpowers out there? Countries like US and also China. Where's the balance here, Puan Mastura?
Okay. As a small trading nation, we really need a huge market. Okay. Traditionally, we are looking at United States, China, and also Europe.
Okay.
But recently, we realized that ASEAN is not just as I mentioned just now, a production hub. We also have a population, a huge population, and most of them are actually young people compared to those big economies that are going towards what they call it, aging society.
Aging society,
compared
right.
to ASEAN, we have most of our people, I guess more than 50% are around the age of 30 to 40 years old. So these are a consumer base that Malaysia should take advantage of. But ASEAN as a whole have to make sure that they are not only young, but also have the purchasing power. So we have to create jobs that pay well for this generation.
Right.
So they also will have the purchasing power to consume whatever produced within ASEAN. So ASEAN is a good market for Malaysia. And because of the raising of the protectionism, unilateral actions by the big economy, we should rely on our neighborhood. I mean that is why Atiga and DEFA is really important to, if not totally eliminate, but keep it as minimum as possible, all barriers to trade and investment among the ASEAN member states. But at the same time, we should not just put a stop to our trade with other dialogue partners. We will continue because there are also dialogue partners that wants to keep engaged with ASEAN, continue to invest in ASEAN. So at the same because usually their investment in Malaysia is for the global market.
Correct.
So that will be another advantage for Malaysia when we manage to attract investment from these countries. We also at the same time can get access to the markets of the various countries. For example, in aerospace, we know that Malaysia have one part of Boeing produced in Malaysia. So Malaysia is the only country that produced that part.
Okay.
So regardless whatever measures imposed by their government, they have to purchase it from Malaysia. So we need to make sure that Malaysia is not only produce anything, but a very unique that people cannot live without Malaysia.
Right.
So that is what our producer have to think about in developing their products and also marketing their products.
And to just put it out there, short and simple, is that we are a capable country in so many things that we can actually do, not just for our country, but for the bloc itself, yes. Contribution to the world, and most importantly, market access towards the global economy. Yeah. Thank you so much, Puan Mastura, for being here. And that wraps up this week's episode. So we've been talking to Puan Mastura Ahmad Mustafa, MITI, Deputy Secretary General, Trade. Now, a repeat of this episode's broadcast can be viewed again at the same time tomorrow and subsequent days on both RTM Click and MyTV's Berita RTM channel, as well as Berita RTM YouTube channel. Till next time, till the next episode, I'm Brenda Lepol, signing off. Take care.